All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. That is the great Z. And you're right in off the field, brother.
Right in off the field. Yeah, I didn't get to see it. Now
There's a lot going on here.
Some red zone stuff that we didn't get to see. I know that Shador had a nice touchdown. He threw the ball well. Joe Flacco threw the ball very well today.
Well, that's what he does.
In the limited.
Do you think it like?
I got a chance to. He's great.
Of course, he's great. Don't you think like at age 50, he could roll off the couch and give you a game? I think his arm talent is like that. That like
totally
he could be chilling for a while and show up, and away you go.
I said to him, like, dude, you still look good as ever. I said, still looks effortless as ever.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I am the same guy. And I said, I know. I said, but as I'm a man in my 40s, like, every year is
tougher.
Yeah.
Well, why does that hurt? That shouldn't hurt. That's never hurt before.
No. Why am I not as good at beer pong as I used to be?
Out of practice. He's
that is true.
He has reached the. This is kind of what I think. He's reached, like, we just had the Memorial Tournament. Like, Jack Nicklaus now doesn't care. You ask him a question, he's going to give you an answer.
Totally.
And that's where Joe is. Like, you ask him a question, he's going to give you an answer. Like, he has accomplished, probably so wildly exceeded what he thought when he was, a kid. And he's done all of these things, and he's so fully formed and so comfortable. It's just awesome having him around.
Yep.
It's just really cool to have him around. And really all of our guys. I know you had a chance to talk to Shador. We haven't had him on, but we had Dylan on at the outing on Monday, and we had Kenny on at the outing on Monday. And they're just really good dudes. It's a really cool room, and obviously it's one of the talking points in the entire National Football League is because we've never seen this before. And I know you've talked to a bunch of people about this. I talked to a bunch of people about this. Nobody has a point of reference on this of having four guys compete. I mean,
no.
You do one or you have two guys compete. You've seen that, sometimes even three, but never like this.
No, and that's why it's fun.
Yeah.
It also is indicative of the fact that you don't have that guy yet.
You might.
You might. He could be here.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, places where OTAs are very boring and nobody's counting reps, it's because they have a quarterback.
Yeah.
And we're in that search and in that quest, and hopefully we're going to get that, very, very shortly. I thought today, just, this is top level. Flacco's, I told him, I'll say it too good. Looks like Joe Flacco. I mean, he throws the ball effortlessly. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. He's statuesque, and I mean that in a good way. Not that he's not the most mobile guy, which he would probably say, I'm not the most mobile guy, but I just mean like he looks like a quarterback. He is a tall.
You are 6'5", 4?
I'm 6'4".
Okay, he's 6'5" plus.
He's taller than me.
Yeah. Because when we've had him in studio, because there aren't very many people who you look up.
Yeah.
And him a little bit. Yeah.
I look up to him in a great many ways.
Oh yeah. But I mean, he's legitimately like feels like 6'6", 6'5" plus.
He's a big dude.
Big dude.
Isn't it weird? And maybe it's just because, and you and I have been doing this, in this type of a business for a very, very long time. But in my mind, Joe Flacco should be older than me. He's been playing in the NFL
of course
since
he should be older than us.
The late 2000s.
Yes.
He should be older than us.
Of course.
Way older than he is.
I felt
he just
like
turned 40.
The idea, so I was at one of the Super Bowls I was at with the one that he won against the Niners. And
New Orleans.
In New Orleans, yeah.
Blackout.
And it was terrifying. But I felt like a kid then,
totally.
And he was younger than me.
Yes.
Super Bowl champion. And I remember him on the set of the NFL on the postgame, the NFL Network postgame show, and Dion was on there and asked him about basically saying to Bisciotti, "Hey, you're going to write a big check now."
Because remember, he bet on himself.
He bet on himself, yeah, and that was it. And then he delivered in every way.
He had one of the great playoff runs of all time.
Of all time. And then I remember that because it was broadcast. It was NFL at Super Bowls. They broadcast the NFL Network in the arena post game, and so I remember hearing that over the speaker of him saying that to Joe.
Oh yeah,
it's cool.
It was very cool.
But yes,
he's great.
I agree with you.
It's great to see him. I thought, again, he looked good. I thought Pickett made some nice throws, had some errant throws, and there were a couple of plays that I think could have been made had he was willing to keep his eyes down the field a little longer and rip it. There was one where he just didn't see it. Jamari Thrash ran a great route and would still be running today.
He just threaded the needle in 7-on-7s. I guess it's the
Pickett
final period of the day.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy in the end zone.
Nice. Good. He definitely made some good throws today. I thought Dylan struggled a little bit. And it was unfortunate to see, that he was kind of just until he got a little bit, not rattled, but a little thrown off. Calmed down, though, and then made some nice throws at the end. And then Shador's ability to just layer the ball. He had one that was a corner route to Hairston, the fullback, that was just so pretty.
Yeah.
He throws a very pretty ball, and like I said, it was right on line. The one guy, though, today that really caught my attention, there was a run, and Jeff L.J. Lloyd just tweeted out and wrote, "Oh, baby," which feels a little bit like gimmick infringement, but I'll repost it anyway, where he gets it, kind of stutters in the hole, kicks it outside, and takes off. You can tell he is going to be – Quinshon Judkins is going to be a special runner.
Yeah. You're going to like him a lot.
You're going to like him a
Bootsy
great deal.
made his request yesterday for the Quinshon jersey. That's what he wants is his big get. We usually do a gift as summer.
Yeah, of
comes,
course.
so that was his big – That's
what he wants? Love that.
Wants
The number
Quinshon.
10 looks good.
Yeah, so it's going to look good on you,
When
buddy.
we were at the Browns Foundation –
Come on now.
Come on now.
Sola!
Tingus.
He was on a crucifix playing Tejas because nobody else could do it.
Nobody else could do it. He threw that kid right out of there. Get out of here. I'm going to do it.
Oh,
Yeah, but he's a teen.
He's a teen. Why don't you just call it Teen Jesus, Uncle Baby Billy?
No,
it's Tingus. Oh, so good.
Can't make me laugh.
So good.
Oh, okay. Now we're back. I don't even know what I was going to say now that we got on Uncle Baby Billy. Oh,
Quinshon.
This went down. Quinshon, yeah, he looks fantastic. When we were at the golf outing, there's one of the big items was to be able to fly with a team.
Mm-hmm.
It's for when we play the Patriots. Fly with the team, on the team, playing, the hotel, all of it. And if it got to a certain level, 2 people could win. And one guy was like 500 short of that level. And we got him there. Basically, he's just like, I want to be able to hang out with Quinshon on the plane. I'm like, well, I don't know if that's going to happen. But Quinshon was right there. And Quinshon's like, I'll come talk to you or whatever. He's like,
that's
okay,
cool.
fine. I'm in. So Quinshon, not only good runner, good for the kids.
Oh, that's awesome. Very good to see. So, look, you've got these OTAs. You got minicamp coming next week, and then it debuted 23 years ago today, yesterday rather, and I reference it all the time. But there is one of the great ethos of the classic HBO show, The Wire, is all the pieces matter, and so in a vacuum, does a seam throw in an OTA camp without a whole lot of perspective mean much? No, but all of the pieces do matter.
Yep.
And so everything that these guys do from the second they walk into the facility to the time that they leave, and that's the stuff that they do in the classroom, the stuff that they do in their meetings, the visual stuff, the whiteboard stuff, and then, of course, most importantly, what you do on the field. And the thing that is, they've all had moments. Flacco's such a cheat code because of who he is and what he's been. Like, everything just looks so easy and natural to him, obviously. But the thing I will say in the instances where I've seen the 2 young guys, and today Shador made a couple of throws, based on what's going around, and certainly the comments that you had. He had a seam route that was pretty sweet too. Who knows the full picture of everything that happened in the process. I'm just glad we landed him.
Same.
And he is an incredibly easy thrower of the football. He throws an incredibly catchable ball. You use that word, he layers it well.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't get batted down. He's able to put it over linebackers, drop it in a bucket. He's very confident in all of that. He really has a good feel for where defense is and where it's not, where the ball needs to be thrown. All that's very natural.
He can throw the ball where he wants to throw the ball.
Yeah.
More often than the average NFL quarterback that I've seen, at least here. He can. His placement is, I think, is elite, and I think that is what it's all. At the end of the day, if you can handle the mental aspects of the game, and I mean, just in terms of all the things that you need to do, and I think that's where he is going to take time on task to get there. And not because he's not capable, but just because he wasn't really asked to do it at the level you are in the NFL. That once he gets that, you're going to get. I think he's going to be really good. I really do. I think he's going to be really, really good. There are things, again, that are not just as simple as just throwing the football to play this position at a very high level in the National Football League week in and week out. But that's an important part of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you know what the defense is doing and you can't throw the ball where you want to.
No.
So, the ones who are great are the ones that have that ability, and then also the ability, this is incredible, also the ability to, incredible. Also the ability to
So much going on.
read the defense and then deliver it on time and accurately.
Who is that?
He's right there.
Give me. Everyone's suited today.
Yeah, so people are dressed up. It's a big day. We got the
Lot of
cross-country
day.
mortgage campus expansion groundbreaking ceremony at 3. So at some point on this program,
Yeah.
I'm going to walk out of here,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to walk back in
Suited?
in a suit, like
baby.
Superman, like Clark Kent.
Oh, baby. I love that.
Does that mean
Yeah.
you're getting naked in here?
Well, no. I think
Gibby,
there's
this
changing rooms.
is a family program.
I'm
There's
just
changing
asking
rooms
where the
around.
change is happening if you're walking.
Probably right there. Probably like
In
that
the-
one
in
spot.
between the doors?
Yeah, that
In
one spot where
between.
nobody can see.
Perfect. Great.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's all you need, Gibby. Yeah, you're safe.
Just was checking, man. I just wanted to prepare myself.
You'll get a view if that's what you're asking.
Nope.
That's what you want, Gibby.
That's
Only
what
on
you want,
Wednesday.
Gibby.
Don't
Oh,
act
wait.
like you're not
Oh,
impressed.
It's First Friday.
Yeah.
Don't act like you're not impressed. There you go. So this is fun. It's good to see him out there slinging it around, and we're pretty loaded up. You're going to hear
It is fun.
Jim Schwartz's press conference will come a little bit later in the program. Tommy Reese's as well. Ephraim Bonda is going to join us. Safeties coach going to join us in studio here once practice ends.
Yeah, Rayshon Jenkins got his hand on one that he probably would say he should have had. Tips and overthrows, got to get those. There was a tipped ball off of Gabriel that went right up to him, and he did not come up with the catch. Dylan Sampson almost got it back for the offense. There's one thing I saw out there today that I thought was a lot of fun as well, is you saw Dylan Sampson and Quinshon Judkins in the backfield together, creating some misdirection and things like that, and I think that'll be fun to see as that progresses over time here with the team. Did a lot of scramble drill stuff today. It was good. It was a good day of work. Again, I wouldn't say, at least we left, I didn't see this red zone, but people are certainly happy about some of the things that were happening in that red zone portion of it. I didn't get to see that, but what I saw before was not as smooth as maybe some of the other days for the most part on the offensive side. We did not see Shador, though, with the ones. And I think that's the thing that we need to see. Like, there's no doubt he can throw the ball. It was great on the other field at one point because a couple of receivers are down today. They didn't have enough receivers, so assistant receivers coach Stephen Bravo Brown went in there and ran a little jerk route, and was open, and Shador put it on him. A little more mustard than I think Mr. Bravo was ready for at that moment, but that was hilarious. And afterwards they were like, dude, Bravo got a target. So it's pretty funny.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that'll be when you know that if one of the rookies, whether it's Dylan or Shador, when one of them starts getting those 1 reps,
That's going to be interesting.
That's a notable thing.
Well,
to be
Gabriel
paying attention to.
got some on that field today, and did not go as well as probably he would.
Hey, buddy, you know what though? Like, we'd have a big problem if our offense was going up and down the field on our defense, because what is
Yes.
now Miles
Yeah,
isn't
no.
out. Miles wasn't there today, right?
No,
Yeah,
and MJ was there, but not in any of the team drills.
Okay, so but our defense should be ahead of our offense.
Of course, it should be.
We're reinstalling a version of the offense we ran 2 years ago.
Yep.
The emphasis that we put on the defense in the draft goes without saying.
Yep.
And you got 4 different quarterbacks who you're rotating in, trying to get attempts and throws and reps. And so, yeah, the defense should be significantly ahead, and it would
Absolutely.
be pretty alarming if it was the other way based on the way that our roster has been built.
The only thing that I would say, the only quote unquote pushback I would give to that is certainly 7-on-7s are still those are
Yeah.
offense advantageous drills. Those are when you're cooking, when things are going the way they should, the ball doesn't hit the ground in 7-on-7s. Now, it sounds like things were a little bit better in the red zone, which is good. That's even where it's a little bit of a tougher spot to be. But that would be good.
Look, these are OTAs. I know us, ESPN Cleveland. They charted it. I think it's Chops who charted it, and we tweeted it out. But you just look at and so those things are sometimes hard. 'Cause you don't have all the context on it. But like I just watched a video of. I mean, this is nothing. It's just a simple slant. Shador just throws a great ball, man.
That was a great ball. By the way, we have photo
really great ball.
evidence that Caden Davis's toe was from Mary Kay Cavett. Toe was actually on the end line, not a touchdown there. Guess we'll take it off the board.
Take it
Still
off
a
the
beautiful
board.
throw.
Yeah.
Shador with another touchdown to Keyshawn Johnson.
he
Those
is.
two have a nice connection. I love that we have a
AB?
Keyshawn Johnson. And there's a great
So you
AB.
said
AB's
that-
looking pretty big, wouldn't you say? Across the back.
I think he's
Looks
put on
pretty broad.
he's put on some little bit of muscle mass.
Yeah, I'd say so.
On the top half there for AB. Yeah. Hey man, I know that guy. That's very good.
Yeah.
He plays lacrosse with my kids. Yeah, Mr. Donauer there. That's very good.
How
Good to
about
see him
it?
in the building? Good to
Well.
see him. Well, how about it? So this will be fun. So they'll be wrapping up there
They're
shortly.
wrapping up. I think they are.
Have they wrapped?
I
We're
believe they're
moving
wrapped.
things. We might be moving things around.
You just tell me, head honcho.
You guys do whatever you need to do here in this first segment.
Whatever we want.
Freewheeling.
Goes Go as long as you can, boys.
You want to have a 45-minute segment today? Great.
Go right ahead.
We can
do whatever
if
you
we're
want.
gonna do that though. I'd like to walk in there and blow my nose.
Yeah.
For
You got
45.
time. Well, I see Tommy's available.
Tommy's at the
doing
podium
a little
right now.
podium right now, but we're going to run that a little later, right? So
We are going to run that later.
We will run that later.
all right. Do you want to go do that?
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
All right.
Talk amongst yourself.
Yeah, we'll talk. You're fine. All right. So there's where you stand. So you got. Whoa. Did I? Whoa. Am I here? There we go. All right. Am I still here, Gibbe? There. Are you defeated? I mean, you're just back.
Like,
you're in the Tuscan
I muted
sun.
him. I thought I
Oh,
muted
you muted
him.
him. I got you. You just got back from the Tuscan sun, sucking down wine, and now look
We're
at you.
struggling.
Now we're trying.
Now we're on the struggle bus.
Now we're trying to get things scheduled. It was so simpler when you just were trying to navigate your way through Tuscany. It was so simpler,
I
Gibbe.
don't know. He's
He's
having an exorcism out of his
he's
nose.
trying. I mean, he's doing the best.
It's going around.
I
I get it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's the weather.
I feel like I'm turning a corner. I feel like this is the best that I've
I'm
felt.
going to tell you something. If this
in
is
days.
sick you, I'll take over 100%.
Yeah.
From 98.9% of the people walking the planet. I don't see excuses.
No
I just see a
excuses.
guy
Play
who
like a
comes out
champion.
here, gets the job done, goes and shoots a very nice score at a legendary
It's not affecting
course.
golf or,
it's not affecting life or
workouts.
golf
No.
or husbandry and
No.
soon to be new
say that
fatherhood
again.
and all of that. All of
Well,
those
that
things
it
are
could
thriving.
affect. That's why I have to get like.
Oh yeah, you got to get that checked out.
Well, I did, and they're like,
Yeah, you're safe.
yeah, basically.
Get you locked in. Yeah. Little Zogs. Be here before we know it.
I will never make the mistake though that I made yesterday, which was to take the first two of the Z-Pack on an empty stomach. That apparently that was.
Oh, is that what got you?
Oh, baby. Oh, did it. I haven't felt like that since I did what you're supposed to do when you're 45. Part of the prep for that.
Get that all sorted out.
By the way, where are we at that? As someone who loves you.
This is the summer. This is the summer
Okay,
of yeah. This is it. Yeah, we're doing it. Got a lot of things to check on the bucket list. That's one of them.
I don't know if that's on the bucket list, but I think you're going to enjoy it more than you think.
You will. I don't know if we'll go so far as to
I
say
do.
that.
I do.
Enjoy it
Yeah.
more?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get there.
No, we'll see. We'll talk to you after.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna walk Mr. Banda in. He's got a meeting at 1:35.
Come on in.
We got
Come
time.
on in.
He just
The
walked
water's
in. I'll walk him
warm.
in.
I mean, this is we're live in the facility.
why we're
Come
here.
on out. Come on down.
This is why we're here.
Yeah, come on in, Coach. Come on in. Come on in, man. He's very familiar with the circumstances. He knows what this is all
knows
about.
how to do
We'll
it.
do it live. We'll write it. We'll do it
We'll do
live.
it
There he
live.
is. Coach Bonda in studio with us. Good to see you, man. It's fresh off the practice field,
Yeah,
buddy.
just straight off the field, no shower, Gatorade, and that's about it.
Man, this is fun.
Yeah,
It's fun watching real football. Like when we get these, and offensively, they're running through the four quarterbacks, and everyone's out there making plays.
You know it's different this year if after an OTA practice, he's like, I need a shower. The coach, If the coaches need to shower after OTA practices, that means we're getting after it.
It is. It's been. We definitely have gotten after it. The pace has been really, really good. I think it's exactly what Kevin was looking for. It's nice, especially when we get to OTAs, because we don't cover Jimmy from equipment anymore. You know, we can actually cover some dudes.
Well, today you were covering Bravo.
Yeah.
He got a target. He was
Yeah.
open on that jerk route.
He dropped it.
He dropped it.
He dropped
He
it.
did
Yeah,
drop
he
it.
dropped it. So it should have been picked, but Bravo didn't catch it. So we got to give him.
But he got open. We'll give him credit
Yeah,
for that.
and
We'll
Shador
give him-
picked him to throw, which is
Amazing.
awesome.
That's I feel like a coach lives for that though. That's a good coach moment.
Yeah,
But you
unless
want
you
to
drop
catch
it.
Yeah. You wanna catch it. Yeah,
You
wanna
think it
catch
came in a little too hot for him, for his liking? Is that what it was, or just
he's got to catch it.
did he look at the hands?
It's a national.
like a lot of people do that.
National
Like,
Football League. You got to catch it.
You know, that was a dime. It was an accurate throw.
that was the move, though. You look
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
hands.
what-
and,
what-
what happened? What happened to that?
I'm sure it'll be on Kevin's tape in the morning.
Yes. I think that's a lot. Yeah, that's team meeting worthy.
Yeah, it
for
is.
sure.
Hey, man, you got to get some young guys up and ready. How is that going in your room?
You know, it's a new room. You know, it's funny at the beginning of it. I'm over there, beginning of this whole process of spring. Jim walks by me. He kind of laughs. He's like, "You had an easy year too, back to year one." And it's really what it's been for me. It's a brand new room. In terms of the majority of the room, we got a couple guys in Rocket and Grant, obviously. So it's just back to square one. You know, back to just the nuts and bolts of it and starting over. It's not like you got a group of guys that have been there and done it, which is good because it's always good to get a reset.
And it's a new room, but it's a room that does have an infusion of some veterans as well. Like Grant, obviously longest tenured here as a Cleveland Brown.
Is
and
he?
Oh yeah, for your room,
yeah.
for your room by a wide margin. But you bring in Rayshon Jenkins and DeMonte Casey. What's it been kind of like getting those two guys in the mix? Because I know you got some young guys as well that you like a lot.
Yeah, no, it's been great having those vets come in. I coached Rayshon in college and was familiar with Casey, obviously in the division, and even Nick Needham, another vet that's came in and provided some really good presence for us. So for those guys, it's a new system, a new scheme, and right now for me, it's just making sure that if they say it's like something, that it really is like something the way we do it here. So it's been good, getting those guys. They got the whole playbook in a matter. I think they've only been here since week 3 right now. So they're just kind of keeping their head above water, and I'm getting them a ton of reps. But they've done a good job of trying to take that information. And then once the question's asked on offense, with the play, responding to that. And that's going to take time. I told them they get discouraged sometimes. But I'm look, fellas, by the time you walk out of here when summer break starts, you have a good understanding of what we're doing. It's your job as a pro over the summer to make sure you're right. So when we hit it, getting back, you're flying.
How is Grant? I mean, it hits you all of a sudden. You're like, gosh, he's the longest tenured safety. You're like, what? How is that possible? I feel like we just drafted him. How is he taking kind of the elder statesman leadership role?
It's been a point of emphasis for him, for me, for us as a room. Him and I, a lot of talks about that at the end of last season, during the break, and even now. And he's done a great job. Really proud of his attitude, his approach, and how he's really taken the reins. And I've had to tell him, really, we talked about it, and he's done it all. He's done a great job. So proud of him. It's fun to see him grow as a player. I love growing with him, and being along with him. It's been a really fun, enjoyable process.
I almost think sometimes for a guy like Grant Delpit, who was that guy at LSU, it's almost more comfortable to be that guy again.
It is, and I think he really is. He's really good in those spots. I tell him all the time, I'm like, I listen to you talk to the media, and I hear you talk to your teammates. Like, you're really good in that space. You just have great thought processes and good messaging, and you understand and got a great feel for the situation, whatever it is. And you're really good with the mic, and you're really good in front of people in the room. Now let's make sure that overflows across the entire defense, and let's take that to the next level.
Yeah,
Empower.
It's it. 100% empower.
Yeah, you're capable now.
Yeah.
You have our permission. Go.
Yeah,
go.
I mean,
run with it.
Exactly. And he's backed it up with the play the last 2 years. Now it's time to go be that guy.
Ronnie Hickman.
Really just impressed. Another really good offseason coming off. He had a great offseason. Unfortunately, got a little banged up, but had a great offseason last year, and then came back this year, and he's had another really good offseason. His level of intelligence and understanding of what we do is just, it's up there. He gives me, OG Rodney McLeod vibes in terms of those type of things. He's still, I got to be careful though. He's still in year 3, going into year 3, but just really proud of where he's at, how hard he's worked, and kind of where he's headed. So we got big plans. I've told him, it's your time. Let's go get it.
When you look at the room, just for people kind of trying to conceptualize, we knew before what kind of who was where, like with Rodney and Ronnie and Juan and Rocket were the free safeties, and DeAnthony and Grant were the strong safeties, and Rodney was kind of your big nickel guy. Who kind of lay out the room for us now as you see it?
It's still
not like in any order, but just who you see as the frees, who's the strongs.
It's still I'm still trying to figure out the vets. I'll be honest with you guys. Like they've only been. I think this is week 3 for those guys, if I'm not mistaken, because they came.
Yeah, they came in late. They were signed late.
They signed late. So, I do think that coaching Ray, which I've had a lot of time with Ray, I know what he's capable of. He can do both. He can play free. He can play strong. I think he can play dime. He's just got position flex, which is why we really were excited to get him. Nick's been a nickel/corner type guy, so I'm really trying to figure out where he's most comfortable right now. And Casey, shows really well in the 3rd level right now, but the guy's active. He's active around the line of scrimmage, so it's still a kind of a work in progress with those vets and trying to figure it out. I think Dominic, our rookie, is a guy who played a ton at the 3rd level and at Pitt, did a great job. He's got a good feel for that, but he's a big guy. So I think if he can show that he can be strong and powerful around the line of scrimmage, he could also be like Ray, who provides a lot of flex.
Let's talk about somebody who I think has taken big strides, and you and I talked about a little bit the golf outing, but Chris Edmonds.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what now, that dude is having a hell of a spring. You want to talk about a guy that we told him to go and do things in the offseason to come back ready. He is killing it. I mean, the guy is playing lights out. He's 222 pounds, running 21 miles an hour. He is playing really, really fast. He is executing at a high level. He's given a lot of vet vibes right now. So he's been a guy that everyone in the room, whether it's coaching staff or players, has been like, nice, So Chris is doing an excellent job. Our personnel department did a great job identifying him and then bringing him into the building, and he's doing a great job developing right now. Proud of him.
Man, that's awesome to hear. You said something that I wanted to get back to in terms of the big picture of the team, and Z made the mention about needing a shower and then kind of the tone and the pace and all of it. It feels to us that you guys within this coaching staff made a concerted effort with tone change and in terms of approach day to day. The physicality, all of those things. What went into that, and then from your vantage point, how do you communicate that through your room?
It's all Kevin. I mean, from our first moment back, he set the tone with what he wants and was very, very clear with what he wants us to. He set the table in terms of what he wants it to be. It's our job to walk into those rooms and make sure that the guys understand it. And then it's the players' job to go out there and do it. So Kevin from the jumps just has done a phenomenal job of just really just laying it out and being very clear with what he wants this team to be. And it's Kevin's vision and Kevin's direction as a head coach and us as foot soldiers executing that.
How are you balancing, and this is one of the challenges, I think it's and obviously you have the film for it, but one of the things I think it's great about and talking about that intensity is because we have these 4 quarterbacks, we're getting double reps.
Oh.
Like we're running like 7-on-7 periods where there are 22 reps because it's 11 on one field, or maybe it's 24, 12 on one field, 12 on the other simultaneously. Like it was fun to me to be out there. I was like, play. It's getting everybody's going to get a lot more reps that way. Yeah. So how has that been, and how do you kind of decide I'm going to be here now, I'm going to be there now, and how's that like working out?
It's been great. I feel like college football again. Like I'm used to having 2 groups on one side, and you're just bouncing around, you're coaching like crazy. We got a ton of film. I mean, that's why we like staff right now. We go later because we got a ton of film and a ton of snaps. For me, it's been just going where I'm needed right now. So for me, it's more just going to a place where those guys need me the most in terms of the coaching part, and then me coaching the other part in the film room once I get in with the guys. So I'm bopping around based off situations, and being where I feel like I'm most needed, and then I'm getting in the film room and coaching the other stuff that I'm not at currently, or on that field, if that makes sense. But I love it. It's been a ton of reps. Been good for we need it in our room, especially having so many new faces.
It's infectious.
It is, and I think
it started even rookies. We felt like 100 guys out there at rookie minicamp.
Oh, yeah.
You had so many guys running through. Like it's infectious. You can see it. There's an energy for all you guys.
It's been the entire spring. It's been really exciting. It really has.
I'm excited to see training camp because I think it is going to be just a different,
very good vibe.
When Browns fans come out here, I think they're going to see a very different training camp than they've seen recently.
I agree.
Which is going to be exciting.
No, me too. I'm ready. I'm excited.
Let's go.
So be good. A couple more days left of work, and then a summer break, and then it'll be around the corner.
I'll be here before we know it for sure. Great to see you, buddy.
As always.
Pleasure seeing you guys.
Great
man.
seeing
you guys.
With us, Coach Bond.
Y'all enjoy. Jim's got a meeting for me right now.
Yes, he does. Well, we got to go. You got to go.
Keep you. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Always
That's
pleasure.
cool. Yeah, he's got a fun room.
It is a fun room, and it's a good mix. Good mix of youth, of experience, of guys. So he kind of went. So he coached Rayshon in college. He recruited Donovan McMillan. He recruited him while he was at Miami.
Yeah.
So he's very familiar with a lot of those guys in that room.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Chris Edmonds, when coaches talk like that, now you got to capitalize on it. It's one thing to have a great spring. Now you got to have a great, training camp, and then you've got to do it in when it is football. But that's exciting. If the Browns are able to find a couple of guys, and I think about Rocket Hickman was an undrafted free agent, D'Anthony Bell's an undrafted free agent, Chris Edmonds is an undrafted free agent. It's good. That's good.
That would be something, man. If he can take advantage of that. I mean, that's an undrafted guy in 24 who's in the mix. And
so when I
getting
hear
attention,
when I hear 220 plus running 21 miles an hour, that means to me that I think he has an opportunity to play in the box and be in that big dime package where we go the 3-3-3. It sounds like he has an opportunity to be kind of like that, a sub linebacker in that package. And we're going to be looking for guys that can do those things because we don't have Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in that role anymore. So that is, 220 who can run like that.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And he's more of a cover guy, obviously. He's not going to make tackles for loss, most likely. Maybe he will. I don't know. I don't want to limit him. But because he's a natural safety, he's going to have natural coverage instincts that, JOK maybe didn't. But it's going to take, and what I'm about to embark upon takes a village. It's going to take I think it's going to take a group of people to amalgamate the skill set that JOK had in one person. And if you can have an undrafted free agent guy on that kind of a contract with our situation, play maybe in those passing situations in that role, that's a huge thing for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, would be. That was cool. Hot topic today, that's what you just listened to. They're presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Lots to get to here. Get some more thoughts on what we saw from OTAs as they have concluded. You'll hear from Tommy Reese. You'll hear from Jim Schwartz. We are off and running. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Browns fans, single game tickets are on sale now. Secure your seats today for the top matchups, and the countdown is on. Browns football will be here before we know it. Lock in your spot now as a Browns season ticket member and score the lowest prices with no deposits needed. Buy online and check out your view with every epic matchup in the 2025 home slate. Visit browns.com/tickets. Now, I know this is a big day here at the Cross Country Mortgage Campus. So I've watched a couple of shows on the Apple. I watched Bad Monkey with Vince Vaughn, which is a lot of fun.
Enjoyable.
And then I watched Friends and Neighbors with Ham.
Okay. Two things. One, back to Vaughn real fast. We watched some of that Nona's movie.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Is it bad?
Oh my God.
I think there's so many streaming services that are throwing money at these folks and they're just taking it.
It's just so.
That's like him and like the Italian grandmothers.
Yeah, but he's not funny, Vince Vaughn.
Well,
he's
yeah.
kind of like sad and serious Vince
that.
Vaughn. You don't want that.
Nobody wants it.
You've got the women. You got Lorraine Bracco, who was the shrink in
Dr. Melfi.
Dr. Melfi, who obviously was in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
You've got the woman who was Rocky's, was Adrian.
Talia Shire?
Yes, she's in it.
Like Godfather?
Yes, and then there's a third.
Wow.
There's a third woman that I didn't necessarily recognize. Like when they're yelling at each other, it's pretty fun. Oh, and then Susan Sarandon, who's throwing. She's like
not screwing around. Yeah.
She's like steroid era Roger Clemens. It's unbelievable. She's like 80.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
She is, I think, right?
Yes, I think she might be 78. It's insane.
She's 78.
Yeah, Miss K and I had a long conversation about it.
She's 78 now. She don't.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
She's the star of Nona's as far as I'm concerned. Then you've got the guy who I don't know if he still is dating Vergara, was married to Vergara, Joe Manganiello.
Yeah.
But he plays like such a cliche stereotype character. Like he's a good actor. I've seen him act well.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And
Yeah.
it's like 2+ hours. Like we after an
2+
hour.
hours.
We're like, okay, we know how this ends
90
out.
minutes.
He's going to date this girl and this restaurant's going to be a success. And it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
All right. So
Then you go the Ham one.
The Ham one.
Kayla loves it. I don't like watching shows that are about like actual real dysfunction and like real life drama. There's enough drama in real life that I don't like to watch shows. I don't enjoy that. Oh, divorces and this guy's cheating and this girl's doing this.
Yeah.
And like, okay.
I think it's way too cute for itself. I think that I don't know how much you've watched. I
Zero.
finished it. Oh, you haven't watched any of it?
No.
I mean,
Kayla's like, this is not my style show. She's like, you're not going to like it.
I don't know that. I mean, Ham's kind of fun and Amanda Pete's
like
good.
Ham.
And yeah, I mean, I think you'd enjoy it.
I don't like
think you'd
real
think
life drama.
No, but it's really not that. It's
Okay.
really farcical.
Okay.
Like you have
If
to,
it's
you have to
farcical,
have.
I like.
And like they're poking fun at it a lot.
Okay, good.
So it's not like they're like taking it ultras. It's not like Dallas or something like.
Or
one
like
of
This
those
Is Us,
primetime
which I
soap.
know is a great show.
It's not like that.
But
at
I have
all.
no
It's-
interest in watching that.
No. It's much more the tone of like.
Is it like Landman, but just normal people?
It doesn't take itself nearly that seriously, even though
Okay.
they deal with very serious things. Like
Okay.
there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of poking fun at it. Is what
Okay.
I think it is. I don't think it's great.
Okay.
I think it's a fun enough watch.
Yeah.
It's fine. But Amanda Pete's pretty good in it, and then John Mulaney's
We watched 4
wife.
seasons as well, which is like, if you just look at the cast, you're like, this has to be great.
Yeah.
Awful.
So this was all a preamble to get to
Sorry.
this. I was fed. It debuted last night. Stick.
I can't wait. Don't give me that look. It's that bad? How could it be that bad? It's Owen Wilson and it's a great setup.
So it's Owen Wilson. He's a former professional golfer
Right.
who bottoms out
Right.
and then finds a prodigy, just stumbles into a prodigy. Okay?
Yes.
Right.
Like I'm thinking some Tim Cup, but with like a mentorship vibe.
Yeah, it's going for some of that. So 2 things. One, like you are going to have an incredible amount of suspension of disbelief as someone who plays golf. Like the kid who's a prodigy has a really nice swing. And so clearly they did that in casting because that was critical.
Had
Like
to.
they were smart enough to
Yes.
get that right.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson does not swing a club.
Okay.
And that's probably by design because
Clearly.
by the looks of it, I don't think it doesn't appear that
No,
he probably
yeah,
plays
yeah.
a whole lot. It could
No.
be wrong. Who knows?
Yes.
But this was the thing that was really, as I'm watching this, I watched the first episode last night. He doesn't even act anymore.
No, he's him.
He's just Owen Wilson. He's had the same hair,
That's right.
that exact same haircut for 25 years. It's that nothing's changed. It's the same haircut for 25 years. He is the exact same guy in Wedding Crashers as he is in this.
He's a butterscotch cowboy.
But he doesn't have Vaughn. There is nobody for him to play with. So he's playing the exact note. He is John from Wedding Crashers. He might as well be John from Wedding Crashers. It's the same khakis and the same kids' shoes and the V-necks and all of it. He looks exactly like John from Wedding Crashers. Nothing's changed. Which is pretty remarkable because it's like 25 years. And it's like he's been in a time capsule. But he is just John from Wedding Crashers. It paratrooped into this situation.
Okay.
So without having a Vaughn to play with,
right.
it's a tough. And the other people are just not on his level in terms of from an acting chops. They're just not there. And he doesn't act anyway because he just plays himself.
Yeah.
So the premise of it, and then there's just some stuff in it that's just absolutely farcical in terms of real life. There's no scenario where this would be the setup, that this would, in today's day and age, that this could happen. So I was wildly disappointed.
I mean,
Now,
when I
it's
saw
a
the
fun
first
watch.
trailer, I'm like, this is great.
It's everything we'd want, right? It feels like everything you'd want.
Yes.
But it's pretty, and that's kind of what I went away with the Friends and Neighbors show. It was a little bit just kind of, I was wanting more. Like, I think it's like Apple, it's ham. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
The guy who did Banshee and then that other show I loved about San Francisco in the 1870s with the Warrior. That show was unbelievable. The guy that did Banshee and Warrior did
San Francisco in the 1870s?
Oh, my God. I told you about that.
I don't know.
With Chinatown and the Irish and the police and all that.
I'm going to watch that.
Oh, it's
you need to watch Mobland.
I'm going to. I got that, but this was so I got fed this last night because we just fed Friends and Neighbors, and I was fed this stick, and I'm like, well, I didn't even know this was ready, but I'm in. Let's go, and it was just.
Did you watch The Studio?
No, I've not watched that.
That was good.
It was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like most of the Apple. Now I haven't watched the World War II one yet. I need to watch that one, the World War II on Apple, Masters of the Air.
Oh my God,
I haven't seen that one yet. But,
dude.
So I need one of these Apple shows to be, because I even think Bad Monkey Tail.
Severance is that. Severance was their great.
So
show.
those are the two that I got to get going on. So.
Severance was unreal.
Yeah, we watched the first episode, and then something happened that derailed us, and I'm like, I got to get back on.
You've got to get through 5. The first 5 episodes, you're going to be like, this is kind of weird. Like, get through 5, and then
it'll
9,
go.
and then it's
rocket ship.
9 is one of the great episodes of TV. Period.
Yeah,
that's a full stop.
So I'm going to, and
right.
and
Mobland,
and that one I'm going to like too.
So Mobland is Guy Ritchie,
right?
Who also did the Gentleman.
I love that.
So this is
so good,
similar, but like Gentleman was like a little farcical. This is
they had fun, a little bit of fun.
This is more real,
pretty gritty.
Yeah, this is like English Penguin. Kind of.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll be into that.
You'll be quite into that. By the way, Guy Ritchie also did The Fountain of Youth, which I don't know if you'll watch with your kids, which is like trying to be like a.
Oh, I saw that on Prime. I thought maybe we'd watch that as a family. But what do you think?
Entertaining. You'll have popcorn. The amount of holes in the plot and like the lack of development of the plot is stunning. Like the fact that they have all these different like karate fights out of nowhere it's like there's no background, there's no explanation in any. It's ridiculous. Like it could have been so cool.
Yeah,
it's still fun. Krasinski's good. The girl
Portman's in it.
Portman's in it, and she's fine. Like Tucci's in it for all of a minute. They just don't flesh out. And the other thing that bothers me is the guy who's the main cop was the guy from Succession, who was like the friend that I found so annoying.
Oh, yeah, that guy. I know who you're talking about.
He's like the cop, and I'm like, this guy's a bum. Like, get this guy out of here.
What's his? Oh, my God.
I'll tell you his name. Hold on. But it's like we watched the whole thing.
Stewie. Was it Stewie?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the Fountain of Youth? Fountain of Youth. Yes. His name is Arian Moayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was he? Yeah, I think he was.
I think it was Stewie.
He. Yeah. It's like, come on, man. Come on. But nonetheless, is it entertaining? For sure, it's entertaining.
Yeah,
it's entertaining.
All right, today is a big day here at the Cross Country Mortgage campus, City of Berea Cross Country Mortgage.
Exactly.
DeGeronimo Companies, the Haslam Sports Group, and UH will break ground on the Cross Country Mortgage campus expansion, an extension of the existing footprint of the Cleveland Browns in Berea. This new neighborhood will be over 16 acres, utilized for a variety of spaces benefiting the region, with anticipated opening in early 2027. Cross Country Mortgage campus expansion will include a mixed-use neighborhood adjacent to existing Cleveland Browns facility. Will be developed by Ohio-based DeGeronimo Companies. Will include a company field line for multiple sports for youth, high school, and adult participation. The Barker Hotel, a tribute portfolio hotel by Marriott, developed in partnership with Crawford Hoying. Those are my guys down from Columbus, and operated by Shinar Hotel Group. A sports medicine facility operated by the Team Health System partner UH. Market rate apartments, office space, 15,000 square foot of retail space for support the new pedestrian-friendly neighborhood. This is going to be awesome, man.
Yeah, we got a big groundbreaking at 3 o'clock. Everybody, a lot of luminaries are going to be here. Mayor of Berea will be here. A lot of people from, obviously, from UH, Swag, of course, from DeGeronimo Companies. Everybody that's involved will be here, and then they're going to break ground with these gorgeous golden shovels. I was like, hey, do you mind? Can I get down there with the golden shovel? Rebuked.
Where do you get a golden shovel?
They're out there. They're in the dirt right now.
What happens when they're done?
I don't know. That's what I want. That's why I wanted one. I wanted one like on the wall.
They were
in the
practicing
studio.
like pyrotechnics and stuff while the presses were going on. Schwartz was like, what is I don't know what's going on.
Let me tell you something. There's a lot going on.
Like,
this has been well rehearsed. We're ready to roll.
And this is going to be sweet.
It's going to be very sweet. When this is done,
we're going to have new digs, and you're going to have on-off lights.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Gibby, you weren't here. So Siciliano's checking in. He was in ESPN LA.
Yes.
So there's like the mic stand is like this beautiful black kind of like cylinder, and it comes out with the mic like bends to you or whatever, and then in the middle of it is like right where it bends is a huge, can be on or off, but when it's on, it's a huge red light. So like he knows, like you just are looking at your mic, you know that it's on.
Yeah,
as it would be,
as it should be in a normal studio.
As it should be.
I've never heard him say that before.
No, I haven't either. Well, now we finally can.
Now
we
can agree. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty critical.
It's
good to know when you're on air or not.
Feels very
Same
important.
with Jordan having to run in to adjust the camera.
Yeah, you wanted to do that.
And it's like
instead of not being able to do it on this
now
side.
you have to look at a button. Like if you are talking in your vision, you know.
What when they build our offices for us?
Yes.
My one request on the offices that I know we're going to get is all I want. And if you want, go ahead and get a pen, just so you can get this to the right people. Gibby. Here's what we. Here's what we want. We want the Mad Men offices. We want the fogged glass.
Oh, they have that everywhere. All these.
That's what we want. We want the fogged glass.
Nicholas has that.
That's what I want.
Why can't we have that?
I want that. And then, but I don't even want like some of ours. You can see underneath.
No.
None of that.
Full
fog all the way, baby.
Full.
I want Sterling's office, season 1 Mad Men. That's what I want.
A bar card.
So just make sure that gets to the right people.
Oh, boy. I'll put that right up there. That's going to be up there. I think the electric company might have an office there, too.
They might. Everybody does.
You're going to have to take it from him.
It's just going to be so cool. The field over there, they're going to be hosting youth sports.
Totally.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be
very cool.
It's going to be really, really cool. And it's going to bring a lot of traffic, obviously, and a lot of money to this area, which is a wonderful thing. I am curious about all the stuff and like what it's going to look like. What are they going to do with these roads? Like, is this bridge going away? Who knows? I don't know.
That's a good question. Yeah. Like I think of that about the new stadium site too. Like, what is all that?
Well, they're going to have all kinds of on-ramps off because they're going to be able to get you on freeways and ba-boom, ba-boom.
And get in, get out.
By the way, thank you, Ohio Senate.
Let's go.
That was pretty. What happened yesterday is.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. In the best, sometimes like when it's still, even despite your own best efforts to thwart something that is actually good for you, it happens anyway. So that's a nice thing.
That is a nice thing.
That's going to happen anyway.
Very nice set of circumstances there. Yeah.
I also feel like if you are from here and choose to live elsewhere full time, come on, you're not really.
What are we doing?
You don't really care that much about downtown Cleveland.
No, probably not. Probably not. That is probably true, my friend. So yeah, this is exciting stuff.
It is exciting.
So we're early 2027. We'll be over there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. No. Yes. You got that right.
Give it.
Sure.
2027 will be over there. 2029 will be in the dome. That's the current Zagura timeline.
I like the timeline.
Yep.
I like the
I
idea
mean,
of this Barker
you will
hotel, too.
technically, the studio will be ground level next to the practice fields out here, and
That's
you'll
so
be able
cool.
to walk right out the door onto the practice field.
That's going to be so nice.
It will be nice.
That's going to be very nice. Yeah, they'll and you unlike it, and with all of the fun that we've had over the years with this studio and the lights and such, you were not consulted on the design.
No. At no point.
At no point.
We had a perfectly fine table.
It was all right. Yeah, it
and
was
then
good.
I had to take the table out, and this showed up.
This guy showed up.
That's right.
This thing
and I
showed
was
up.
like, well, this is awful.
Do you remember when it first showed up too? Like one of the glasses was like blue.
well, there was there. It,
One
there
of the
were-
glasses had to be replaced.
This came in 3 parts.
Initially, there were lights in this.
Oh, there still are.
They are. They're
really?
right there.
Oh,
but they
yeah.
just
The
don't
lights
work.
still work.
Oh, do they?
Hold on.
Oh, do they really? Well, where would they? How would they ever be seen?
Hold on. This is the best part of this.
Oh, Gibby. Now here's Gibby. Is now Gibby is under. We've struck a nerve.
This
He's-
is the best part of this debacle.
Look at
There's a
this.
Switch. Like
Look
right
at this. Look at this. Does it work?
here. Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
This needs to plug into something, Gibby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hold
we
on.
got to get some power to it. Now here's Gibby. He's got.
Here.
There you go.
What do you want me to do with this?
I don't know. Make yourself useful.
Here we go. Oh, will it reach? Will it reach?
Jeez.
It's not going to reach.
Here, hold on. Get that part in.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So we're trying to get this plugged in here to see if there are actually
By the way, it
lights
was really
to
brought
the
to my
disc.
attention the commentary you provided on my Newton 6 dot the other day out at the Cleveland Browns Foundation out, and people really got a kick out of it.
Your Newton 6 dot.
Yeah.
Oh, your shaft.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, the thing was an attention getter.
It's no doubt. All right. I still don't know how we're going to do this. Here, I'll take-
You might have
I'll
to
take
turn
this
your
out.
on-off light.
What's this thing?
I don't want to unplug that. I feel like that could throw us off the air.
What about this?
I feel the same
No,
with
that's
that.
the headphone. No, the big one is use your on-off light.
Okay.
I think.
Well, we're still on the air. Oh,
Oh, baby. Why are
And
we
look
using
at
this
they-
all the time?
they show up so well.
Yeah, let's see.
On
Give me
air.
another color. Give me blue. Give me a blue.
Give me a nice baby.
Give me a
blue
nice bluish hue.
in your plums.
Ready for market. 2-for-1 special. 2 plums.
Taking his plums to
for the
market.
price of 1 at the farmer's market.
How did they ever get it filmed?
Unbelievable. That's one
crazy.
of my. Yeah.
Play with that.
Yeah.
don't-
Well,
I
that's
don't
what you.
know.
There you go.
I need a new battery. I don't know.
I
We're
don't
just
know.
stuck
We're
on
lit
white.
up.
Get
By the
that.
way, you lit it up, and you can't even. There's
Can't
nothing
see
you
it.
can see in the
Can't see
monitor.
it. No.
There you
Isn't it spectacular?
go. Spectacular. Absolutely. That's one way to put it.
Yep.
All right. Second hour of the program coming up next. We'll kick it off with defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz.
Is my mic on?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it's not on
Been
anyway.
on the whole time.
Yeah, you're good.
Well, I didn't know.
Second hour. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Second hour here, Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. We head to the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here's your defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz.
Jim, when you're down 12 minutes, who from your past came to mind?
I don't know. I've had a lot of good defensive tackles over the years, and this scheme has featured a lot of those guys. It allows them to penetrate, play without handcuffs, and make some impacts. I think he can fall in to that category. We'll leave who he reminds us of when he starts playing and starts making plays.
Hey Jim, I'm sure you were unhappy with the statistical results last year for the defense. So, what can happen this year to get you guys back to the way you were in 2023?
Yeah, I think a couple things to go with were just things that end drives. Third down percentage had dropped from number one from the year before, and then takeaways. Both of those things obviously end drives. We're trying to get off the field with no points allowed, and those are the things that we're putting a big emphasis on this year. We emphasized them last year, but those are areas that we have to improve.
So how do you do that, though, is the question.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different things. Turnovers go a lot of different ways. We work a lot of different techniques for turnovers. A lot of turnovers are because of rush on the quarterback, and we got to improve there from last year. Get our rush percentage up. Being around the quarterback is a good formula for takeaway. Team speed is is a good formula for taking the ball away, and physical contact, which we're not working on right now, but guys that play physical nature of football, they have a habit of forcing turnovers. So if we can do those things, we can have good technique to punch balls out, force fumbles. We can play physically, we can play fast, and we can rush the passer. We're around the quarterback. I think the turnovers will take care of themselves.
Can you address just how disappointed you were when JOK had to miss the season, and when he seemed to be hitting his stride, and then also how has Carson looked so far?
Yeah, JOK was on his way to an all-pro season last year. He had really reached that level. We had talked this time last year about the biggest jump between being a starter and then being a Pro Bowl player. There's even a bigger jump to being an all-pro player, and it was really disappointing to lose him because he had like you said, he had really hit his stride as a player. He'd had some sort of growing pains and some ups and downs, but he really fit the scheme well. He does fit the scheme well. His ability to blitz and rush the passer, and he made coverage look easy. He had just the game had slowed down for him, and so all those things together, it's disappointing to lose a player like that. But we support JOK in everything that he does, and he'll still have a big impact on our team this year. It's not going to be playing, but he'll still have a big presence on our team. And yeah, I don't know what's going on. Carson, like a little bit like Mason, it's hard to see, where they are right now, but he's working really hard. He picks things up really fast, and he's big and he's athletic, so he's got a lot of good things going for him.
Do you believe a good penetrating defensive tackle can have a bigger impact on Garrett than a complimentary edge rusher?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can look at that, but Miles sees a lot of double-team chips. But a thing that goes a little bit unnoticed is he sees so much center slide too, which lets the tackle overset him because the guard is there to play all the inside moves. So in essence, a lot of times you can be triple teamed on those plays. And the best way to combat that is have a pass rusher that's on the opposite side that can make offenses pay for singling up a defensive tackle on a guard. And like I said, in my history, I've had a lot of guys that can do that. Most recently, guys like Fletcher Cox in Philadelphia that could do that. So, and you're closer to the quarterback when you're a tackle. But there's only a few ways you can really combat a defensive tackle. And One of those is the center slide, and the center's always sliding to Miles. That provides a lot of opportunities for a player there, and we have to take advantage. We have to take better advantage of those situations than we did last year.
With Mason and what he did at Michigan, I mean, it seemed like that defensive scheme, so a lot of his responsibility was eating up blocks. I mean, he got after quarterbacks, but how, I guess, excited does that make you to get him in this system where he doesn't have to do all that stuff all the time?
Yeah, it's been an adjustment for him just because the style of play, reading blocks, and like you said, protecting linebackers and things like that. That's not what we do. We're a penetrating team that takes a big emphasis on defensive linemen being able to make the plays. So there has been some growing pains. He's pretty far ahead right now. When we get pads on, that'll be the next step, and then when you go live contact, that'll be a next step. So it'll be a process for him. I do think there's a lot of meat on the bone as far as his production, and we can see better production from him than even we saw. And he had outstanding production in college, but I think there's some meat on the bone that he can even have, have a chance to make more plays here.
How much, if at all, does OTA attendance matter to you for a player like Miles?
I don't know. I mean, this is a voluntary portion. We know Miles works hard no matter where he is, no matter what time the season is. So, he's a veteran player that's proven himself in this league. We have a lot of guys out here who are trying to reach that level. And, they're working hard every day to do that. So every player's a little bit different. But this is a voluntary part of the schedule. And we're happy with the guys that are here, and they're all working really hard.
What was going through your head, Jim, when you saw Miles request that trade, and then to get the extension worked out? Now, what are your expectations for him moving forward?
Yeah, I really think Miles is going to have the best season of his career, and has to, right? I've told him before, what's that Spider-Man quote? With great power comes great responsibility, right? And that's with the big contract, with the notoriety that came along with that, and with the process that took to get him to that point. There also comes, there's always pressure in this league, but probably a little bit more so. And I think that brings out the best in players. And I know that'll be the case with Miles also.
Can any of your free safeties be a ball hawk?
Yeah. I think some of being a ball hawk has to do with pass rush, but guys that are wired to the ball that, that can get an extra jump on the ball. We didn't do enough of that in the past, and, that's certainly a position we can improve on. And, we talked about things we can improve on from last year. Turnovers and things like that mean a lot. But, so many of those deep ball things come from ball coming out before the quarterback wants to, or being hit before as he's throwing. They both work hand in hand. A guy in the back end, like in this stuff, you're not going to see very many interceptions, now, because quarterbacks aren't being hit when they throw, and they're not being forced to throw before they want to. So, it all sort of goes hand in hand.
Hey, along those lines, what would you say Ronnie Hickman's best attribute is? Is it kind of...
Yeah, he's always been a ball hawk. Last year, there was some injuries things that kept him from being on the field. This is a really big season. He's in his third year. He should really hit his stride for us. We're surrounding him with some veteran players. Brought Rayshawn in, brought Casey in. Have Grant returning. We're a safety-heavy team. We run a lot of three safety system, but we need Ronnie to really bring it all together. Showed really good flashes as a rookie. And he played well when he was on the field last year, but we just need him on the field a little bit more. He's a little bit bigger now. I don't know if you guys notice him, physical stature, he's a little bit more, and he's still moving just as well. And I tell players all the time, we want guys as big as they can, running the fastest that they can. Basically means that if you put weight on and it slows you down, or put size on and it slows you down, that wasn't good weight to add. But he's maintained his movement metrics while gaining a little bit, and I think that'll help him.
What can younger players learn from Denzel Ward in this setting?
Yeah, I mean, you learn from everybody, whether it's a Jordan Hicks or a Denzel Ward or, it doesn't matter. You can learn from offensive guys, not just technique in your own position, but, just the way you handle your business, the way you go about things. There's a lot of places for people to learn, and Denzel's a great example. He had a drive and break on the ball. I don't think you guys were out there. That was as good as I've ever seen. And a little bit like we talked about before with, finishing plays for turnovers. Denzel got his hands on a lot of passes last year, and we need to convert more of those to interceptions, and that's the difference between Pro Bowl and All Pro. The game-changing play, the PBU is big for us, but we need to get more of the INTs, and he's made a big push to convert more of those to INTs, and we need that to show on the field this fall.
We got time for two more?
Jim, Michael, for a variety of reasons, wasn't able to get a lot of time on the field, or as much time as you guys obviously wanted out of him in his rookie year. How important is this season for him in terms of his development and what you guys hope he can be?
Yeah, I mean, just like any players, I would say this, we talked about Ronnie. It should all come together in year 3. But I do think the biggest improvement you see from players is year 1 to year 2, right? You see rookies here. They don't, everything is new to them. Standing in front of you guys, everything they do is new. And the second year they come back, they know what to expect. And I think you see the most improvement. We need that from Mike this year. He's been set back with an injury, but he's been working extremely hard to come back from it. And we're real hopeful to get him back on the field and see what he can do.
Last one.
Casey led the NFL in interceptions with Atlanta. Does he still have that game?
Well, we'll see. Like I said, this time of year is more about individual improvement. You'll see some times out there where, you see players that will avoid contact and plays they could make or hits they could make, and that's not the time of year for it. So it's probably too much to read into it right now, but through training camp, through the preseason, through the course of the season, I mean, that's where the proof will be.
All right, there you go. Defense coordinator Jim Schwartz. That was from earlier today. This defense should be a very, very good one next season, year 3 with Coach Schwartz. And I think what you'll probably notice most especially offensively is they talk all the time about marrying the offense and complementary football. This will be complementary football for Jim Schwartz's defense in 2025.
It should be, and that'll take a lot of pressure off them and give them hopefully some more advantageous down and distance situations for them to kind of pin their ears back and be this ball hawking defense for them to be able to do all of the things that they want to do and be a game wrecking defense. And that's what, a couple years ago, we were the number 1 defense. So that's what you want.
Yeah, that's going to be the requirement if there's to be success in 2025. It'll be on the backs of that defense, certainly. We'll go around the sports world coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. More fun to your fandom with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today, get 50 back in bonus bets. You place that first wager of 10 or more. Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. As we go around the sports world, Steelers tight end Donald Parham Jr. suffering a torn Achilles during the team's OTA session will miss the 2025 season. Pittsburgh's tight end room, Pat Freiermuth, of course, still leading that. The Steelers have renewed talks with the Dolphins about Jonnu Smith, per Adam Schefter.
Parham is one of those guys who's probably well known from. They would have had one of the tallest tight end rooms in the league because Darnell Washington is a unit.
Oh, geez.
And Parham's, I think, 6'7", 6'8". He's one of those guys that in Madden was always like a cheat code because you could just throw it up to him, but in real, it just hasn't quite turned out that way.
No. But I think they know what they want to be offensively. I mean, they're going this whole thing.
Arthur Smith, two tight ends are going to run.
Tight ends, yeah.
They draft. Who are their running backs?
They still have Jalen Warren.
Yeah,
and then they drafted.
Oh, the kid from Iowa, right?
Oh yeah. That's
Caleb Johnson,
the Cincinnati kid. Yeah.
He'll be
Cincinnati
quite good
native. He'll be quite good there.
Yeah.
And still waiting on Rodgers.
Got DK Metcalf.
They did.
And
that was one of the great disappointments. One of the boys, I think Beamsy, he has a Metcalf Seahawks old school.
Yeah, the 14, the
blue. The blue and with the green. It's gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
Those helmets are great.
Yeah.
The silver helmet. That is all of that.
It's such a great look.
That is all very,
it's
very
such a
good.
great look. Yeah. So there you go.
There are a lot of people milling about here today.
There are, and it's fun. So that's the great Bill Kern right there, Brecksville Pride. My kids go up against his kids in hoops all the time, and I thought that was him. But we have the reflection here, so it's hard to see through sometimes, and I can't make out a face.
So that's who that is.
Yeah, so that's where that is. So that's it. This is a big moment. This is going to be big.
Well, and this is going to turn this area into just a massive complex. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, really will. Couple other things around the sports world. Bless you. Ohio State is going to add 9 elevated field suites and 400 premium chairback seats to Ohio Stadium's south end zone before the 2026 college football.
Where's the band going?
Band's going to go north end zone, which is where they were years ago before they added the south stands.
But isn't the other band usually over in that corner?
Well, they're putting them all over there. And look, this is it. This is the real truth. Want to play real truth? This is what
I
it
do.
is.
Please, let's go. Let's dance. I love it.
They need to find money. Okay?
There's only so much in this state.
And they need to find it in the worst way because in an old circumstance, if you wanted to renovate the Horseshoe, you could call a handful of boosters and you could say, we need to raise X $100 million for the stadium renovations. And for those renovations, your name will go here, and this will go here, and this will be – I mean, everything down there's got a name on it. There's nothing that doesn't have a name of a donor on it. It all does. From Cavelli to Schottenstein, all of them.
Sure.
Everything's got a name. The problem now is the same people that they ask for those donations are also funding the NIL collectives.
Yep.
So there is incredible donor fatigue. So what they have to do is they have to find avenues for resources that were not previously tapped within the existing circumstances or for minimal cost to do. So, for example, there's going to be a restaurant in the Horseshoe. In the old days, you could just walk. In the old days, you could just walk into Ohio Stadium like it was always open. Anybody could just walk in.
Yep.
Right? Well, in the last 5 or 6 years or so, they've been having it locked, and then they had they would have one guy there, and you'd have to check in and check out. Like, how many of you are coming in? Well, now they charge you for a tour of Ohio Stadium. So you can either do it.
It's a business.
Yeah. You can either do there's 2 different varieties, and then one is you go in the locker room and all that. So they're trying to find money. The new athletic director, Ross Bjork, is a really smart guy, and he is trying to find ways. So one of the things I participated in this last year, I'll have to do it again this year. They do now they have open practices. So they have 3 practices that are now open to the public, a lot like the training camps that we do here. They have 3 practices open to the public, and they're charging $160 or whatever a ticket for you to go, and you get to watch practice. And so that's what this is all about. It's about finding money. The reality is that football team makes a ton of money, but they have 36 varsity sports. Texas has 18. So when it comes time to start paying all these people, which is going to come quick, where's it coming from? And that's what they're so that's what this is about. Now, the other thing that's crazy about this is like that is an end zone that always has people in it. Cheerleaders are there. Recruits are there.
Yes.
Friends and family are there. So if you are one of those end zone suites, who's going to make if they clear it, it's the best seat in the house.
Yep.
If they clear the end zone.
Yep.
But I don't know how they're going to clear the end zone. And there's not much space. You guys have both been there. There already isn't a whole lot of space in that south end zone.
Yeah.
You run into the wall pretty quick. And now all of a sudden you're adding suites and 400 tickets.
So, do I want to go down this road? Yep. We're going to hop on the grenade.
Go right ahead.
Do we really need 105,000 seats? Like you're putting chairbacks in. I like that.
Well, in those 400 they are. Not anymore, you don't. But the problem is that here's what you got. You got a 100-plus-year-old stadium.
Yeah.
That while a cathedral, it's a dump. I love it. I love it. There's a feeling when you walk in it and you go, God Almighty,
Correct.
like
it's amazing.
Chick Harley and Vic Janowitz and Hop Cassidy and Archie Griffin. Everybody ran through this and all of that, but like it's a 100-year-old stadium. There are to go to the bathroom and the main level. They're porta potties.
So
like it's crazy.
Yeah.
The first time that I went there,
Yeah.
I was like,
You had to be floored. This is
like,
what is this?
What?
Yeah.
There are no seat backs. Which
None.
I had known, but then there's porta potties. Like the food was sparse and garbage.
Yeah.
There was no, and I don't know if I don't think it still is the case, but the time that I went, there was no beer. There was nothing.
Yeah, that was an intercollegiate rule.
Yeah, that's
you could
changed,
not.
though,
That's
now.
changed.
That's
now,
changed.
now you can. But for the longest time, you.
But I
couldn't
just thought the
serve
place
beer.
was like a big cement dump.
Yeah, I mean it's a big old building.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a lot of history.
A lot of
and it's-
history, and that's what's cool about it.
But it's really difficult because how do you begin to renovate it? I mean, like, so, and those of you who've been, like the original horseshoe is within the structure.
Yes.
So B deck used to be the end of the stadium, and then they built the exoskeleton on top of it.
Correct.
And so that's why, like, B deck has all those seats that are restricted view and all of that stuff. And I just think as the stay-at-home experience got better, folks are like, man, I'm not going to go do that. I'm not going to deal with that crowd. I'm not dealing with those bathroom lines. I'm not dealing with those seats.
You're going to go watch them beat Marshall 70-0?
That's it. And the schedule doesn't have enough good stuff on it. And now they're in this television package where all of their best games are going to be at noon. Like Texas is at noon now. They tried to get that swap.
I know. And why would Texas say no? They said some short week nonsense?
No. That's not it.
Of course not.
No. Why do you think? Well, college football Nate would know. Because Ohio State and Texas recruit the same people. Okay? How are you going to get the best recruits in the country to a noon kick on August 30th into Columbus, Ohio?
You're not.
You're not. You're not. If it's at night, you are.
Oh, I like that. That's devious.
If it's at night, you are. Because now all of a sudden you can connect. All the best kids play Friday night. You can't get from most of the places to Columbus in time for a noon kick.
Yeah, it's like week 2 or week 3 in high school football.
Right, for sure. And there's no way. You can't get there. So, meantime, when
That's
Ohio...
diabolical.
Yeah, it is. It's smart. Texas should have said no. By the way, it's a tougher environment to play at night than it is at noon. I'll take noon over night all the time, of course.
Yes, of course.
So, guess when Texas is going to be playing Ohio State next year?
At night in their place.
That's right. Because it's on ESPN, and they have one television partner to satisfy, and it's ESPN and ABC, and so they're going to be at night. So now, will there be a problem for the best recruits in the country to go to Texas next year for Ohio State? Nope. No. They'll all be at that game. But you can't get them to Columbus unless they're local kids who can drive.
Yeah. It's also just, and they got...
It's just brutal.
It's unfortunate.
Sucks.
That, Fox Big Noon Kick is like, that's their thing.
You have to give them credit in the sense that they found an opening in the market.
Yes, that allowed
that
them to
nobody
own
was
this.
playing this
Yes.
type of games, and so they got a chance to own it. And it's highly rated because they have Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah.
And they both rate in a very, very big way.
Yeah.
So that's why it happened. But, like, they haven't announced it yet, but Penn State's going to be at night. So, so then they give them their night games Ohio on
Thanks.
Peacock. Yeah. Great. What are we doing? Like, but that's the agreement that they signed. I mean, that's what the money's for.
Yeah,
they didn't read the small print on it. They just didn't. And the other thing I think they really miscalculated was the fatigue that the fan base would have of playing noon every week, every big game at noon. I mean, you're going to go a generation without playing a big game at night.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the last big one there at night, non-conference, was probably Oklahoma or Notre Dame.
Notre Dame to open the season.
Was that? Well, who was that on? Who was that network on at night? That would have been 20.
I was there.
2021.
Yeah.
How was that? That had to be before this deal got done. That had to be an ESPN game because they still had the ESPN television package.
Yeah.
At that point, they were still on ESPN because Fowler and those guys were in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was still an ESPN. ESPN still had the Big Ten at that point. They haven't now. This is year 3. So, yeah, that's how that happens.
Man.
But it stinks. It totally stinks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. We have Stanley Cup Final Game 1 tonight. Edmonton and Florida. I know you'll be locked into that.
Before you said that, I would have had no idea who was playing it.
I still don't know who the head basketball coach of Oklahoma City is, if it makes you feel any better. I have no idea who that is.
Edmonton, the Oiler. The
Edmonton,
Oilers.
The Oil, yeah.
The Oil. Florida, the Panther.
Yeah. So Florida going for back-to-back. Edmonton.
Florida's become a powerhouse.
Connor McDavid, who's, he's the guy.
So it's like the Sidney Crosby era over?
He's still there, but I mean, in terms of being a contender, it is. Yeah, he's up in age. He just broke the record this year.
For most goals, right?
I think he's got one more year left.
Eric Lindros?
Not.
No, his era's over.
Roenick?
Mark
No.
Messier?
No. Not.
Pavel Bure, the Russian Rocket?
God, how about Pavel Bure?
He was great on the Canucks.
And Sergei Fedorov, both dating Anna Kournikova.
Unbelievable.
And then she ends up with Enrique
Iglesias. Yeah.
Can you be my hero, baby? Wow.
I
can be your hero.
You bet I can. You better believe it.
I can take away your pain.
Yes, I Yeah, that's a good way to go about it there. All right, there you go. NBA Finals tickets prices are down 25% this year compared to last year's finals between the Mavs and Celtics. This has got to be the two smallest markets who have ever played in a finals.
I'm hard pressed to think of another one.
I was talking to Jake Trotter this morning, our buddy, and he's down in Oklahoma City covering the College World Series softball, which is a relatively big deal at ESPN. And he's down there, and then Game 1's down there tomorrow.
Well, and he lived there for a long
Well,
time.
he's an Oklahoma native and all of that. So, yeah.
This is a big week for him.
I did not know, and I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I did not know that the original plan – so they built an arena in downtown Oklahoma City without a tenant. And they did it after the Oklahoma City bombing. Jake was telling me all of this because they needed the city to be known for something other than the bombing and tornadoes. So they built this arena, and it was between them and Columbus for the Blue Jackets. And Columbus got it, and they didn't. And so this arena sat empty until Katrina forced the Hornets to relocate, and then they played there for a year and a half or something like that, and then they went back to New Orleans, and David Stern was like, oh, yeah, you guys can handle it. And then they got the Sonics.
Wild.
And now they've had 3 MVPs, Westbrook, Durant, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
3 MVPs.
They at one point had Durant, Westbrook, and Harden.
Yeah, and Ibaka
and
before he got hurt.
Ibaka, the shot blocker.
Ibaka getting hurt probably cost them a championship.
Probably did. Yeah. And now they're set up even better. Like they could win several titles.
By the way, this should be called the Paul George Finals.
Oh, it's
both of these teams were built by trading Paul George.
That's exactly
completely.
Right. Completely. Yeah. It's crazy how people thought there was more to him.
Because he was big. He really could do it
He
all.
looks the part, but he's not. He's never been that.
Never.
It's just not what he is.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right, Tommy Reese from the podium coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Valley Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Barking Backers official dog fan club of the Cleveland Browns is back for 2025. Get your pup in the action, exclusive gear, events, and more. Memberships are available now. Fetch yours today or a gift membership to a furry friend at barkingbackers.com. Barking Backers is presented by Milkbone in association with Embrace Pet Insurance and Pet Supplies Plus. Now we head to the podium presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here is offensive coordinator Tommy Reese.
It looked like the rookies got more reps too.
You're down 12 minutes.
Is that just part of the rotation?
Yeah, rotation day by day has kind of been fluid. These days we have probably the most reps to go around, so we're able to balance them out. But all those guys have done a nice job coming to work and understanding that each day is going to be a little bit different rotationally, and it's an evaluation process for us still. So we're just working through those as the days come.
How much different is the structure of everything, trying to make sure, compared to what you're used to, trying to make sure everybody gets it?
Yeah, I've been exposed to two-spot, if you will, in the football world. That's kind of how you call this. I've been exposed to it. It's a great way to maximize. Look, it's not just one position group that's able to get maximized. You look at young wideouts, young linemen, young skill players across the board that we can get so many reps for now, instead of them just getting the reps from the sideline or mental reps, as Coach Speak would say. Like now they're actually out there learning on the fly, and things come up. You might run the same play on two different fields, get two different defenses, and now you have two opportunities to coach off of. So I really do think it benefits the entirety of the team.
I know it's part of the sample size, but what have you seen the most growth between Dylan and Shedeur?
Yeah, I think just operationally, listen, you come from the college world where very few things are called into the huddle, where you have to command a huddle, operate an offense in the way you're asked to at this level. So I think just from an operations standpoint, you continue to see those guys grow and become more comfortable. And what we're after there is there's going to be a moment where they get to their comfort level, and that's when they're going to be able to maximize, and feel confident out there. So they're doing a great job with their work habits and continuing to push each other in the right direction.
Tom, when we see a day like today where Dylan didn't necessarily maybe have as many completions as he would have liked to have, what do you make of something like that? I mean, are there days where the lights are on and everything's flowing, and then other days, or how do you interpret when you have a day you see like that?
I think for all the position groups, quarterbacks especially, we want to be as process-driven as possible, opposed to results. As long as our process is in the right place, our decision-making is in the right place, we'll continue to coach the fundamentals and get the physical to follow it. But we want to focus on, okay, is he processing at the high level? Is he making the right decisions? Is he making the right reads? And as that happens, now you see growth and continue to push him fundamentally to make sure that we're executing.
I'm sure it's part of the rotation, but Dylan looked like he was first up in a couple of the drills today. How valuable is that for a rookie, especially when he's working with other guys that are probably first team guys? Yeah,
I mean, it's fluid for all those guys, right? All of them have opportunities up there with the first group. And look, we're evaluating all the positions. So to say, hey, this is a, first group, second group, we're evaluating as we roll. So it matters. I think there's a certain confidence level. Hey, you look across, you see Jerry Jeudy there, that builds confidence, right? You look across, you have Poe calling the shots up front, that builds certain confidence. So, again, all of that is part of this process. All of that is part of the development for all these quarterbacks.
As an FYI for us, there are some periods you don't have a true 7-on-7, it's a true 11-on-11. Is that just a shortage of players, or are those designed to be 11-on-8 and 8-on-6 or what?
Yeah, no, we're very intentional. When you see kind of a half line of an offensive line, we're trying to make sure that as the quarterbacks, the offensive line, that we're always doing something to gain benefit of it, right? We run 7-on-7, you take a 3-step drop, you throw the ball, great. But that's not real football, right? So can we give a presence in front of the quarterback so they feel something? Can we work line games so the line's working during that period? So it's by design to make sure that we're continuing to press as much real football as we can.
Is that period called something? Different?
Not really, no. Yeah.
When you have three young players, two rookies, and then obviously Kenny's still a young player, just how beneficial is it to have someone with Joe's experience in that room? Not so much to tell these guys what to do, but to basically just kind of set the example with his daily.
Yeah, you can learn so much by just observing him, right? And just learning from the way he approaches each day, the way he is in meetings, the way he is on the field. Those guys all gravitate towards him, right? I mean, you get Joe telling a story, though, it might interrupt your meeting a little bit. So he's been so much fun to work with, so great for those young guys, and he's out here competing like it's year 2 for him. So it's been a really fun dynamic that way, and it makes it really rewarding for all of us.
As you and Kevin has kind of used the offseason to build out the offense and what it looks like, how do you use this time period to install what you can versus kind of prep for mini camp and then training?
Yeah, there's a balance, right? We're installing our offensive system. We want to make sure there's certain things that fundamentally or from an install schedule standpoint that we're covering. It's also a time of the year where you're looking at things, right? There's stuff we studied, there's stuff that we want to try. It is a time of year to push the limits on those, and you use this as an evaluation period, not only from a player standpoint, but also schematics. So then when you hit training camp, you're shoring out your identity a little bit.
As far as Kenny Pickett is concerned, when we talked to him last week, he talked about the fact that he has to learn the terminology. He also has to kind of hone his pocket presence a little bit and, play more under center and all those kinds of things. So and he said it takes like 2 years to really get good in the system. So when I heard him say some of those things, I wondered, is he going to be ready to go week one if that's the way that it works out, and how is he coming up the learning curve?
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job. I think, the terminology in a system, those are fluid. Concepts usually are understood. Those are pretty universal at times. So Kenny's done a really nice job with everything we've asked him to do. We're pushing certain areas with him, continuing to try to improve his game. And, again, he's done a nice job through the first week and a half, and we expect him to continue to grow.
Tommy, Joel talked a couple days ago about kind of a renewed toughness trying to be instilled in the, on the team as a whole, but especially on the offense. Can you talk about that process and where you hope for it to show the most?
Yeah, we just want to hold our guys as coaches, holding ourselves, holding our players holding their peers 100% accountable, right? And not letting details slip through the cracks, not letting things fall by the wayside. A lot of that's mental toughness, right? So when you talk about callousing the team and having that toughness, a lot of it's just mentally making sure that we're all up to the standard at which we want to hold ourselves to, players and coaches.
I think Sid was in a t-shirt today, but we saw him working last week too. What have you seen from him this offseason after some of the injury struggles he went through last year? What are you expecting for this season this year?
Yeah, Sid's done a nice job. He's a great threat for us. That middle part of the year where he really started taking off, I kind of see him pick up where he was, and we have continue to develop Sid in his role, and he provides size and strength and athleticism, something that is really critical both inside and out, playing wide out. I think he has some flex there, so continue to develop Sid's game and get the most out of him.
What have you seen out of Dewan coming off a couple of injuries? Just how important is it for him to, step up and be the guy for your left end?
Yeah, Dewan's been really intentional in what he's doing and accountable to what we're asking him to do. Coach Bloom, Coach Ben Wilkerson and Sanders, those guys have all done a really nice job of continuing to work on him fundamentally. And look, playing both sides of the line takes some time and development, but he's bought in and doing the things we're asking him to do.
How about Shedeur, just from rookie camp to now? What kind of growth have you seen? What do you like about his game, and how's it all going?
Yeah, he's worked his tail off. He's really putting in a lot of work, as all those guys are. But you could tell on the mental side of the game and learning the system and calling it and having that rhythm to it. He's put a lot of work and time and effort into that. And then when you do that, the game starts to slow down and you can focus on finding completions. And he's done a nice job of that as camps progressed.
I know you referenced it earlier when you were talking about him and Dylan, but just how big of a learning curve is that, especially for somebody who didn't call a lot of plays in a huddle, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of hurry up.
It's a lot harder than you think. Yeah, it's a lot harder than you think. So I would just say that, especially just calling it. Go ahead.
In terms of the install level, especially with 3 young quarterbacks, have you had to tail it back a bit, or are you one of those you just throw it all at them and see how much they can retain?
We have a good amount of offense in, but we're very selective with the growth and development and the progression for those young guys. So definitely pushing them and pushing where we want them to go, but also being cognizant of, hey, we want them to go out there with confidence and making sure that it's beneficial to how they're learning and the way they're going.
How's their retention level been so far?
Yeah, they've done a really nice job of really doing everything we've asked of them.
By the time you guys get done with the mandatory mini camp next week, do you kind of need to have a pretty good idea going into camp of who are going to get the bulk of those first team reps and second team reps, because camp goes so fast?
Yep.
What's your view on how sort of the timeline of this whole thing?
Yeah, I think it's it's going to be fluid. We're going to continue to work with all the guys we have. We're going to develop all 4 of them, and we're going to push the reps. We're going to find ways to be creative to make sure that they all have opportunities to develop and put their best foot forward. And when the time comes, we'll continue to push guys forward as they earn it.
Within the offensive line coach, what is you're installing things and things going? What do you think that the identity of the offensive line needs to be to accumulate some success this season?
Yeah, Coach Bloom has done a great job. He's been awesome to work with from a coordinator standpoint for the players. Look, we want our offensive line to play as one. So when you talk about an identity, you want all 5 guys on the same page. You want that coordinated with the tight ends. You want the running backs coordinated with the offensive line. You want receivers competing in the run game. So when we talk about the toughness of the group, it starts up front with all of them being on the same page, and we really want that to resonate with the entirety of the offense.
Have you been around quarterback competitions? Like usually when you have quarterback competitions, 2 guys kind of going at it, maybe 3. Have you been involved in one, or just seen one where there's been 4? And so
I have, yeah. Maybe not 4, but 3, 3.5, I guess, maybe. Yeah. I mean, look, I think like the misnomer is like this, like the quarterbacks get along most places, right? Like everyone's supporting one another. It's one group. Everyone's pushing ahead, and everyone's competing, but everybody's supporting one another. And that's the cool part about being in a quarterback room is that relationship and understanding how close those guys are and how much they help one another. And look, we're in a selfless business here. We want the team to win, and we all got to support one another to do that.
So where was it where it was 3.5?
Probably when I was a player, I was probably the half. I probably wasn't real involved.
At Notre Dame?
Correct, yeah.
How much will minicamp look differently in terms of reps for the quarterbacks?
Yeah, we'll let that play out. You know, we'll see how it goes throughout the rest of this week, and we'll develop a plan for next week and hit the ground running.
What about the non-QB rookies? What have you seen out of the 2 running backs and then Harold?
Yeah, really done a nice job for us. I mean, Quinshawn and Dylan, you know, being multiple in what we've asked them to do. You guys saw a little bit of that today with those guys out there, and you know, both strong running traits and you know some versatility to do some different things. But they've great attitude, have worked extremely hard, have picked it up, have bought into what you know Deuce has asked them to do and what we've asked them to do offensively, and you know really done a nice job picking things up. And you know Harold has really gravitated to that room of tight ends. You know, CJ's done an excellent job making sure that, you know, we're getting him ready to go. And, you know, he's made some plays throughout camp for us and continue to expect him to do so and continue to push to find ways to get him involved.
In terms of the quarterback competition, at this point, can you realistically see any one of these 4 guys winning this job?
I mean, yeah, you can see them all winning the job, I think, right? And so in terms of the competition, we're so early in the process. We're so early in evaluating it. But, yeah, I think, you know, we have a good group of guys that will continue to push one another. And by the time September rolls around, we'll be ready to go.
All right, there you go. A very busy day out here at the Cross Country Mortgage campus. Big event happening just across the street, getting going right now. And, of course, a lot of action on the field. Much more to get into this tomorrow on the program. But for now, the next level is coming up next. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.